Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Tuesday Morning Brews. My name, of course, is Ryan Smeltz, and today we are going to be talking about why you need both short-term and long-term goals in business. I feel like overall, this could be a very short episode. I definitely feel like this is not something that most people need to be told. However, I'm sure there are some people out there who do start and or run a business without setting any goals. That being said, that's what this episode is all about. So, first of all, the link for the article is in the show notes as always. Number one, start with determining your long-term business goals. It is very possible this could turn into 2 episodes. I know I said it should be very short. But number two, establish your short-term business objectives. 3, understand what the long-term goal means on a daily basis. 4, tie your short-term objectives into your long-term goals. 5, implement a much narrower timeline for short-term objectives. 6, break down specific actions to be taken by specific people. 7, have a regular time for planning short-term objectives. 8, ensure you have appropriate employees involved in all aspects. 9, review and revisit your short-term objectives when and as needed. So, those are some extremely long bullet points, but I believe that this article and these bullet points are an exceptional roadmap to get you on a very clear-cut path of why you need the short-term and long-term goals and how to bring them all together. So I believe it's important when you set your goals. Obviously, if you have a short-term goal to hit your first million and a long-term goal to hit 10 million in gross annual revenue, those already kind of go hand in hand. But one of the most important aspects of your goal setting is to realize that as much as the saying goes, what you got you here won't get you there, it's also more of what got you here will get you closer to the long-term goal. So a specific example of that is if you go through developing a sales cycle, a sales process, the pitch, and the steps, and then you go through the motions and you practice it and you go out and you use that system that you created to close a sale. You get your first sale, you learn how to do it, you learn how to do it well, and you start to close more sales, get more business, and you grow to a point where you need help and you bring on someone else. Now you have a team of, say, 3 salespeople, and in doing so, you're able to hit your first $1 million in gross revenue for the year. Well, if 3 salespeople, plus or minus you, got you to $1 million in gross revenue, then it is possible more salespeople means more revenue. Now, you are going to need to make some changes, such as with your training program and making sure that you have different levels in place in order to help manage all of those people. However, I believe that if a small version of what you do got you to this point, then a large version gets you a larger piece of that pie. So just understanding how to set those long-term goals and make sure that your short-term goals line up to bring you into that long-term goal is how you're going to make that happen. So under number 1, start with determining your long-term business goals. It outlines social, service, profit, and growth. I think all of these are good points to have long-term goals set for. Excuse me. Establish your short-term business objectives. Once you've determined what you want for the business in the long term, it's basically backwards planning. So anybody who's been in the military knows and understands that if you have an objective you need to move on, then all you have to do is plan backwards to determine how much time do you need, how many trucks do you need, what equipment do you need, how many personnel do you need, what types of movements are you going to use, and what tactics you're going to use to accomplish the mission. So backwards planning from your long-term goal. If your long-term goal is to sell your company, then what do you need to get to in order to sell it? Once you determine what you need, like it needs to be worth X number of dollars, you need to have this many employees, and you need to be at a point where the business essentially runs itself. Then what do you need to do to get there? So if it is just you starting out, you want to sell the company and have 30 employees in the business where it's running itself, then you have to first get from you doing the day-to-day to having someone else do the day-to-day. And also understanding that you don't necessarily have to replace yourself with one person, but if you're doing the hiring and the firing and the sales and the customer service, then maybe first you get another salesperson in. Then you get 2 more salespeople in. Then eventually you get an HR person in who does the hiring and the firing. And then eventually you get someone in who handles the customer service. So making sure all your bases are covered, making sure to replace each piece of the pie that you handle on a day-to-day basis. And that moves you closer and closer to that long-term goal of selling your business. So overall, I'm not going to go through each and every single one of these bullet points. They are long. The article is attached. You can go in and read it for yourself. But we talked about this before. If you don't know how to set SMART goals, then learn and understand what SMART goals are. This will help you set both your short-term and your long-term goals and be able to check those off so that you get closer and closer. Whatever it is you want to do, if you started a business, now you want to sell it so you can create a much better exit strategy and be able to move on to something else, something you really enjoy, then I hope you get there. I hope setting goals helps you get there. I hope you set effective goals. And like I said in the previous episode, write them down and your goals will much quicker and easily come to fruition. So that's all I have for you today. I just don't want to take up a lot of time going through an article you can read on your own. I think it is much more fun for me to give you my 2 cents, especially since I have quite a bit of experience in setting and accomplishing goals. We can go into more detail on that in another episode, but if you are not setting goals, then start setting goals, both short-term and long-term. If you are setting goals, then hopefully this article gives you a little more insight on how to set it up for short and long term and how you can accomplish those goals. So once again, link to the article in the show notes, link to more episodes of Morning Brews and Business and Brews at the bottom. Be sure to check out our sponsors. Everybody needs a little caffeine in the morning. Soldier Girl Coffee has you covered. My name is Ryan Smeltz. If you got any value from this episode or any previous episodes, then be sure to leave us a 5-star review. It really helps out the show and it helps other people see the episodes as well. And be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Tell your friends to subscribe as well. My name is Ryan Smeltz once again, and I will see you on tomorrow's episode of Morning Brews.